The year is 1775 BC. The Sea People, a conglomeration of Viking-like raiders, have ravaged the Mediterranean, pillaging from Mysia to Aleppo. Now they turn their sights to the treasures of Egypt, and the pharaoh Ramses III sails to meet them. The first recorded naval battle, the Battle of the Delta, is about to begin. The Sea People were a group of ancient raiders. Think Vikings, but way more successful. They lived around the Black Sea and would sail from the Aegean Sea, raiding along the Mediterranean coast. Their raids were savage, and from 1300 BC to 1100 BC, they burned and sacked cities all along the eastern Mediterranean. This time period was known as the Late Bronze Age Collapse, in part due to the Sea People pillaging most of the civilized world. So at last they came to Egypt, a rich and prosperous dynasty under Pharaoh Ramses III, who had watched his neighbor's destruction with some concern. His predecessors had previously battled the Sea People and knew of their prowess in battle. He also knew that soon the Sea People would turn their attentions to Egypt again, and so he prepared for war. The raiders entered the Nile Delta in 1775 BC. Their goal to lay siege to the Egyptian city of Zosis. Soon, Egyptian runners brought word of the raiders to Ramses. The exact size of the two armies is lost to history. However, similar armies in that time numbered between 10 and 30,000 men. This is a good guesstimate as to the strength of both armies. We also know that the Egyptians fielded a large number of archers this battle, and since the Sea People army was mostly ship-based, the Egyptians were likely outnumbered at sea. The Sea People's army included an unknown number of Libyan allies or mercenaries as well. The exact location of the battle is again lost to history, but occurred close to the city of Zosis. But it would be a good assumption the Egyptians would attempt the ambush where the river was more narrow. The Egyptian navy took up a defensive position upriver of the advancing raiders. The raiders had only one way to go, and it was through the Egyptians. So, sure of their superiority at sea, they attacked. On the banks surrounding them, the Egyptian army then sprung from ambush. Archers pelted the raiders as the navy engaged. The Egyptian ships had the advantage of moving with rather than against the river and rammed the lead enemy ships. Their job was just to hold the raiders in place while the archers on shore fired. Working oars and sails against the river was hard enough, never mind while being shot at. Soon the raiders were bunched up and forced against the shore. It's unclear if a desperate order to storm the beach was given or if the Egyptian navy forced their ships aground. Perhaps there was some of both. Either way, the raiders either died on their boats to the arrows or were slaughtered on the beach by the Egyptians. The survivors retreated. Ramses had saved Egypt, and the mysterious Sea People would never again threaten Egypt. The exact casualties of this battle are unknown. Forward. This has been a very short episode. Unfortunately, many details of this battle have simply been lost in the almost 3,200 years since it occurred. Normally, I meticulously fact-find for my videos, but there are simply some details that I couldn't find. As such, I've labeled a short section as speculation. Exact troop movements and the surrounding terrain may also be off from what the actual battle was as well, but based on what most likely happened, given the facts that we know of the battle and Egyptian tactics. In addition, there were at least 2 naval battles recorded earlier to this. However, all we know about these battles is that they happened, and that wouldn't make for a very entertaining video.